Daf Lamed Beis Amud Beis, the first line right at top. The Gemara will now go into a lengthy discussion about the punishments that come for different averas. For the avera of not fulfilling one's neder, of not being Mekayim and neder, a man loses his wife. If you don't have what to pay, literally the pasuk is a person borrows money and borrowing and he doesn't have to pay back, the creditor will seize his bed. But we darshan it to mean that if you don't pay back your neder, then you lose mishkavcha, the wife. Rabbi says the punishment is that his children will die young. Shenemar, the pasuk says, "Al tiznas picha lachti es besarcha." Don't let your mouth. A neder is made with the mouth. He doesn't fulfill what he expressed through his mouth. Why should your mouth cause you to have a chet for your basar, for your flesh, your children, who are your flesh and blood? V'al taimer lifnei hamalach ki shkagi. And don't say to the malach that it's a shkaga, that he made a mistake. Lama yiksav alakim al koilecha v'chibas masi yadecha ve'ezen masi yadav shaladim havi'aymer abanav b'naisa shaladim. This is mais adam. Lama yachabal. Why should he destroy the masi yadayim of the person, which these are his children? Tan rabbanon ba'aven nedarim abanim mesim. For the oven of the Dorim, like was mentioned, a person, his children die young. Divrei Rabbi Elazar Rav Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi Aimer. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says, ba'avan bittul Torah. He says that punishment comes for the aver of bittul Torah. So bish lamadam rabban nedarim kidam. One who says for the aver of nedarim, like we just mentioned, we just learned that from the pasuk. Elalamandam ba'avan bittul Torah mikra. Where's the pasuk that you see that's amar bittul Torah? From the Gemara, the chsiv lashavi kesias b'neicha. Musar loylakach says, I hit your children, punish your children. Lashav, musar loylakachu. You didn't take musar, you didn't learn Torah. Rav Nachman, Rav Yitzchak Amar, he says, Laman Damrav in the Dorim, Nami Mahacha. You can also learn out from this pasuk that the punishment for the aver of not fulfilling the neder also is the punishment of the children. You can learn out from this pasuk because the pasuk says L'shavi cases b'neichem al iske shav, on a shav. He's not fulfilling what he expressed from his mouth. So, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi and Rabbi Nasi and Rabbi, that's the very same person. Rabbi Vavan Nedarim Komer. And Rabbi said that it was for the Avain, for the Aver of Nedarim, that the children die young. And over here he's saying, and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says, Bavar bittul Torah. So how can it be that Rabbi and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is the same person? Did he say bittul Torah of the Nedar? From the Gemara, Basa the Shama B'Relazar Shimon. After he heard what B'Relazar Shimon said that it was Nedarim, then he also agreed to B'Relazar Shimon. Pligi Barav Chia Barava Barav Yosef. They argue on which avera causes the responsible for the avoin of the bonim of the children dying young. One says the avera of mezuzah, of the parents who are not careful to mitzvah mezuzah, and the other one says for bittul Torah. The one that says it's mezuzah is because he darshans the connection, the smichas of the psukim, but he only goes back one pasuk. He only goes back to the pasuk immediately preceding this one. So the Torah says, "Laman yirbu yemech v'mei v'nechem." The Torah says that you and your children will have long life. Now, in the pasuk immediately before that, the pasuk says, "Uchsavtam al mezuzos beisachav v'sharecha," mitzvah mezuzah. So, therefore, if you're zoyer in the midst of mezuzah, there'll be long life for you and your children. And if chas v'shalom not, it'll be the opposite. So that's how he darshan. It makes a connection between mezuzah and the Arichas Yamim. The one that says it's bittul Torah, he goes back even further. He goes to the pasuk even before that. You can darshan the pasuk lefanav preceding one, the one immediately prior, and the one before that one. So the one before that one is teach Torah. So therefore we make the connection between Talmud Torah and Arichas Yomim, and if Chas v'Sholom Bittul Torah, then it will be the opposite. One says it's mezuzah, like we mentioned. The other one says avon tzitzis. If he's not careful with tzitzis, there will come this chas v'shalom, this terrible punishment. Bishlam l'mandam rava mezuzah tichsiv. It says uchsav tamal mezuzas beisecha uchsiv basrei l'mandir b'yimech v'mei. Like we mentioned, you have the connection between the two psukim. El l'mandam rava tzitzis. My time, why? What's the reason? What's the source to say there's a connection with tzitzis and the Arichas Yomim and Chas v'Sholom? If not, the opposite. Amar v'kanavitema shilamori. It says dechsiv gam b'chnafayech nimsu dam nafshes evyonim nekim. It says on your garments, on the corner of your garments is the dam of the blood of innocent. Meaning that if you're not careful with your corner, the mezuzahs, which are the tzitzis the tzitzis which are kanfais, big dechem, the tzitzis which are on the knafais, on the knafayim, if you're not careful with that, then chas v'sholom is the dam of the nefashos. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Laman dam rav mezuzah nami me'ach. He says you can also learn it mezuzah from this pasuk. D'chsiv lo b'machteres metzosim. It says lo b'machteres metzosim. That is in that part of that pasuk, and it says I didn't find it in the machteres. She'asu psochim kimachteres. They made their psochim, their doorways, like a machteres. A doorway is chayiv b'mezuzah. A machteres, a tunnel, there's no chayiv mezuzah. They made their doorways like a machteres, like a tunnel, meaning that they didn't put mezuzah, and therefore that's why it says that nimsu dam nafshes evyonim nekim. Amar ishlakish kolazor b'tzitzis. We're discussing the mitzvah of tzitzis. So he says a person who is careful with the mitzvah of tzitzis, he'll be zeicha that serving him, he'll have 2,800 avodim, 2,800 servants. Shenamar, how do we know this? Because the pasuk says, "Koyamar Hashem tzvakos b'yomim mehema." In those days will come, Asher yachziku asor anashim mikol shonyos agayim. 10 people from all of the nations. And we know there's Shiva Mumas, there's 70 nations. So there will be 10 people from all of the nations. So that's 700 people. And it says, Ve'achzichu b'chnav ish Yehudi leimor, and they'll all grab onto the corner. Now there's 4 corners on a garment. There's 4 corners on the garment. So you have 700 times 4 corners. That's 2,800, 2,800. And they'll say, Leimar necha imochem. Let me go with you. Let me go with you. Let me go with you to the Yerushalayim, to the Beis Hamikdash. They're prepared. They're ready to serve the Yid. So you see that he's zoyer on the tzitzis. They'll grab onto the corners of his beged, and he'll have that number of servants. Simen. Sonet chalet truma nigzeles dina shua shepuchta giluya v'navlusa. So that's a siman, and each one of these words will discuss a different topic that the Gemara will now discuss. Tanya Rabbi Nechemi Aimer ba'avain sinas chinam, with the avera of sinas chinam, hating someone for no reason. Hating a person because he did an avera, he's a rasha, is a different matter. But hating a person who did not do averas, not because of an avera, not because he's a rasha, just for some personal reason, that's sinas chinam. The punishment is meriva rabba b'seich beis shalarim. There will be quarreling in his house. V'ishtam apals nafolim. She'll miscarry. His wife will miscarry. Ubanu v'neis shalarim meisam shem b'tanim v'chas v'sham. The children will die young. Rabbi Lazar Rabbi Yehuda Imer ba'avan chala. If a person is not careful with the mitzvah of chala, ein bracha b'mechunas. There's no bracha in things that are stored away. He won't have a bracha. Umeir mishtalach b'shayim. And the prices, there'll be a curse on the prices. Prices will be inflation, there'll be a curse on the prices. And they'll plant, people will plant, and other people will take it and harvest it. Shenemar afani es ezeis lechem, v'ivkati lechem b'hola, and I'll put on you a mitzvah that there'll be a panic on you. There'll be the burning fevers, the belonging of the eyes, and it'll be as the nefesh will suffer. People will be looking for Yeshua, and the Yeshua doesn't come, so therefore they are heartbroken. And you plant for no reason. Plant in vain. And your enemies will eat it. So Bahala is a panic. Don't read Bahala, Ela Bechala. Sometimes the Hey and Ches are interchangeable. Bechala. For the Avera of not being Mafresh Chala, of not giving the Chala, that's how these punishments come. V'im Naisim, but on the other hand, if he does give the Chala, Mizbarchim, they have a bracha. Shenemar Reishis Arisosechem Titul Lekayin. It says if you give the challah, the reishis of your dough to the kayin, La'aniach bracha el beisechem. Bavin bittul trumas and maasros. If people do not give the trumas and maasros, Shemaim Netzor Milari Talamater, the Shemaim does not. It withholds the rain and the dew. It does not bring down the rains that the people need for their crops. And therefore there's inflation to the high prices because there's not enough rain. And people can't make a living, there's no profit. And people are working and running for parnasa and then can't find parnasa. The dry season, the heat will steal away from the snow. Will steal away, meaning there won't be enough irrigation, there won't be enough of the water to irrigate properly the crops. Shol Chotu, they have been chayta to shol to the debts. So my mashma, how do you see from here? Tanat very small. That which you were commanded in the summer season, in the warm season, which is being mafresh trumas and maasros. In the warm season, that's when the harvest takes place, and that's when the person has his new crops, and he has a mitzvah chiv to mafresh trumas and maasros. Because of a vera that they did during the summer season, the warm season, they weren't mafresh the trumas and maasros. And you did not perform it, you did not do it. The water, the irrigation, from the snowy season, the winter season, when the rains come, that's in Eretz Yisrael. The rains are in the winter season, they'll be stolen away because of the avera that was done in the summer season. V'im Naisim, on the other hand, if they do give it, Mizbarchen, they get a bracha. If they give the Trumas and Maasros, they get a bracha. Shenemar, Haviu Eskol HaMaasro, Beis HaIser, bring all of the Maaser to the storage houses. V'yoter v'veisi, there'll be food in my house. Ubechanuni na b'zei Samar Shem Tzchokes, and test me with this. You can test me with this, Hashem says. And what's it says? Im lo yaftach lachem es arubas hashamayim v'arikoiselchem brocha b'lidai. Tell me if I don't open the windows of the shamayim for you, and I'll pour from the windows, so to speak, brachas from shamayim. You'll have brachas from shamayim ad b'lidai, without any limit. My ad b'lidai amar Rami bar Rav amar Rav. And he says ad sheyivlu sisisech meloim dai. It means ad b'lidai, until your lips are worn out. You're saying die, it's enough already. Your lips will be worn out from saying enough. You'll have so much bracha. And when people steal, that's when the locusts come. The locusts come and they destroy the crops. And there's always, people are always hungry. And Rahman al-Islam, it comes to such a hunger that they eat the flesh of their children. And Shenemar Shimu Hadavar Paras HaBashan. It refers to these people, the Chaitim, as Paras HaBashan, the fat cows of Bashan, Asher Bahar Shaiman, which dwell in the mountains of Shaiman. Ha'ishka is Dalim. They're Aishik the Dalim, the poor people, they oppress for the poor people, they take away from the poor people. Haritzis is of Yainim, who crush the poor, the needy. Amar Rava Kigain Hani Nashi the Mechuzah. He called the women Mechuzah, they called them like fat cows, that they indulge themselves constantly. The Achlav, they eat and they indulge themselves and overindulge and they don't work, and so that's a reference to them. Look, see, he case he has so the punishment for that is that a case of a shidofim, often you'll be afflicted with the shidofim and yerokin. Those are the warm winds that destroy the crops, and the mildew that destroys the crops. Arbaiska gesem v'karmeim, that destroy the crops, and the multitudes of what you have in your gardens and your vineyards. And what grows from the figs and the olive trees, the gazim will eat it up. What's left over that the gazim didn't destroy, then the locust will destroy. And what's left over from that, the yolik will destroy. And what's left over, then the chassul will eat. Then people will be starving and they have nothing to eat, and they go and take away from the right, they take from the people on the right, they take away from the left, they steal here, they steal there, and they're not satisfied, they don't have what to eat, and they're still hungry. Ish besar zroya yoichel. And it comes to that terrible madriga where they eat the flesh of their children. Al tikri besar zroya, don't read it literally, the basar of their arm, of their zroya, el besar zarai, of their children.